The Untold Truth every Friday at 6 p.m. The journey has just begun with Master Eric. Zalisa. A new kind of podcast getting to the root of hidden knowledge. You can join us on Facebook, Conversation with the Zalisa, and YouTube, Master Eric. Your journey has just begun. Sitaram, Assalamu Alaikum, Sairam, and good evening, everybody. I'm Master Eric. Today, unfortunately, Zalisa won't be able to join us today, but we're still going to do a program. And I want you tonight, in the middle of the program will probably be about 30 to 40 minutes tonight. But it's going to be a very important program because I want to do some exercises with you. I want you to be able to start to feel what energy is. So before we start, I want you, during the program to get you a nice, comfortable place. I want you to be able to sit down. The only thing you should be hearing is this podcast. Try to get all external noise as low as possible. If you have children, you may want them to play. If you have older children, they may want to try this too. But if you have a question during the program tonight, please, I want you to start. You can send your questions at 1-868-354-4459. And WhatsApp your questions in. And as we're doing the program, we will look up, we will see your question, and we will start to actually answer as best as we can during the program. But I want to say thank you. We are getting lots of responses. We're getting a lot of questions. And there's people that heard the podcast and they're actually coming because somehow the podcast actually sounded like we were talking to them. And when we decided to do this podcast, it was to actually give you information. It's to actually let things happen the way it's supposed to happen. Questions that you've always tried to ask and you couldn't get an answer, we will try our best to give you that answer. But tonight, we're talking about energy. What is energy? Now, a lot of people, you'll say, well, it's electricity, it's fuel. There's a lot of things, that creates energy. But we got to go way before that. We got to go way beyond our normal thinking on what energy is. Now, what is God? Is God a human? No. God is the ultimate energy. What is the universe? The universe is made of two energies. You have the positive and you have the negative. Now, you may say, but what does that have to do with me? Well, it has everything to do with you. Because when you start learning about energy, you will see that everything around you is energy. The chair you're sitting on, the TV you're watching, the trees, the ground, everything has its own energy. Now, You do too. You have energy within your body. That is your energy. So then you may be wondering, why is he even talking about this? Why is he even trying to explain? But I'll tell you why. Because in the ancient beliefs, not just one, in the ancient beliefs, do you know they were 6,000 years ahead of science? They've already explained all this back 6,000 years ago. Science has 80%. They've caught up. The other 20% might take another 15 years to catch up with what was written 6,000 years ago. So what science has proven? That everything in the universe has came from one atom. Every atom in the universe is broken off of that atom. Even us. We are made of the 5 elements. So it is so important, people, that if you want to pray, you got to understand energy. What is your prayer? Your prayer is energy. It is your energy leaving yourself, casting out throughout the universe. And one thing I want you to know, and we all make mistakes sometimes, but you might say a prayer and say, oh my God, I made a mistake. Well, you can't take it back. Why? That sound is actually going through the universe, and it will keep traveling indefinitely. There is no boundary of your prayer when it leaves you. So when you start to meditate, why would it be important to understand energy? Because it takes your internal energy to actually launch you into the different levels. And then when you are getting at a certain point, you are tapping in with your energy into the chakras within your body. Now you've got your primal energy, which is called the prana, which is working with your energy to meditate. But when you start to meditate, you don't do it in a classroom. No, people. If you do, it's going to take you tremendous periods of time to actually start elevating yourself into the heights where you've imagined. See, people has this imagination, this yearning, that they want to explore certain areas that you cannot access into the physical world. And so they try to do this through yoga. But yoga today is not what yoga was 6,000 years ago. It's 2 different ball games. Yoga now is more exercise, stretching. That is part that needs to be done before. But we'll have another program strictly on meditation. But in order to know your energy and to capture and not waste your energy through anger, hatred, situations that get you upset, you are definitely losing your energy. And this is vital to you. You need to keep that energy. You need to remain calm. But in order to tap into yourself, you need to understand the nature of energy. And the best place to learn is outside with nature. You have to focus and learn every avenue of the energy of nature on earth. It took me over a year to only meditate in nature. That is your launching pad. Because everything in nature has a different frequency, has different energy. Then you have to understand that each thing that was created by God has a purpose. It has a function. But do we every day even notice this? No. We're too wrapped up into doing our everyday life, and we're always worried about if something would go wrong. So let me ask you something. Why would you worry about something that hasn't even happened yet? Does that sound logical? No. You don't worry about things that didn't happen. You just learn to respond and just take care of the situation without getting emotional. Now, energy, we have energy around us all the time, especially with Wi-Fi. You've got wireless items. Everything is all traveling around you all the time. So in your subconscious, I teach people, you have to learn how to filter. You have to learn how to filter different energies so that your mind is not preoccupied on an external energy that is not at use for you. It's not going to help you. Then, how energy works. Energy can enter your body. Now, some people, they get divine energy, to where some people will talk in tongues, and we've done programs on that. Some people get what they call the Kundalini Shakti, and they manifest, and they speak, and they give guidance, because it's not truly them. It is an angelic being that enters their body. So when energy enters your body, let's say you're doing energy healing. When a person touches you on the third eye, if the person knows what they're doing, they can steer the energy within your body to the point that needs to be attended to. So how do they do that? One, you have to learn the chakras. What organs is controlled by each chakra? And we're going to go over that in very deep detail. Detail coming up in another program, which you've never seen on the internet. And this is with over 35 years experience in dealing with the chakras. Now, when the person puts the energy into the individual, within you, you have different layers within you. One, you have a spiritual body within you. You don't even know it. You're not even tapped into it. Now, within the spiritual body, you have a spiritual nervous system. And in the spiritual nervous system, everybody, it's like a spider web. Everything is connected, almost like your regular nervous system. Now, they are called nadis. And you have over 472,000 nadis in your body. Now, you can, if you know and you feel, you can steer through the nadi system to actually go to that organ. Now, you can push energy and you can pull energy. So sometimes a lot of people, when they come in, they're getting medical help, but it's not working to its full capacity. So then we use our hands. And with God's help, we can actually push the energy, get to the point, and pull the pain by retracting the energy back into the hand. So we're going to have classes coming up, and those of you that are out of country, we could WhatsApp and do virtual. But this is something that some people need to know. We are not going to do anything too drastic, because anytime you deal with energies, you need to have a guru. You need to have a teacher that can actually watch and help you get from step to step, layer to layer. If you don't, you might end up in trouble. Now, energy has no form. Energy, when you tap into the spiritual world, you can actually manipulate the energy. You can change it, you can move it, you can mold it. There is nothing you cannot do with the energy. The only thing you cannot do is change the frequency that you are experiencing at that time. So I want you to understand there's unlimited energies. There's unlimited frequencies. What the human ear can hear is only a minute amount to what is really out there. So the question is, why is energy so important? Why should you know about energy? One, what does your body run on? Think about it. Your own energy. What keeps your heart beating in a normal pace? What started your heart to beat in the first place? It's energy. Then, once you start experiencing it and playing with it, which we're going to demonstrate here in a little bit. Our sound engineer, he came today, and I told him, I said, my partner in crime here, Zelisa, she's not going to be able to make it tonight. I said, I need you to step in. And he watched me. I said, I want you to demonstrate, but you have to do what I say. And then you can experience it. And I'll let you do whatever we're doing while I still talk to the individuals. And what we're going to show you tonight, everybody, within you, you have your energy. On the outer edge of you, you have what you call your aura. Now, your aura depends on your mood and everything that you've done for the day. It reflects a color that signifies you. Now, the aura usually starts about 1 inch away from you. Now, what we're going to show you tonight, it's an exercise. Two things happen during the exercise. One, when you start, you are dismissing any negativity of energy that went within your aura. You're going to cleanse it right off the bat. Number two, the second part of the exercise, you are going to manipulate the aura energy around you. The presence of God a lot stronger. Now, there's positive energy and there's negative energy. When you meditate, I'm going to let you know now. They don't teach it. When you meditate, you need to ground yourself first before you even attempt to meditate. Then when you do meditate, when you are done, You ground yourself off again. And in the meditation classes that we're going to have, you're going to have detailed instructions how to ground yourself and how to unground yourself. The reason is, when you go out in meditation, there are different theories. Some people say you go out of your body and you travel. Some people say that the universe is also within you and that you are traveling within yourself. All I'm saying, either way, when you go spiritually, you are entering different dimensions if you get to that level. And when you do, it's just not positive only that you're entering. So you may get and attract negative energy with you. And when you come back and you're not taught properly, you'll start wondering why you get body pain, why you can't sleep. There's a lot of different scenarios that can happen. And the reason is that energy is still within you. So what happens when a negative energy, demonic, starts to interfere in your body? Well, one, when an external soul or demonic enters your body, there's a transformation that takes effect. One, your body at the beginning is resistant. Why? Your body knows its energy. It doesn't know or recognize external energy. So it goes into a defense mode. So that's why demonic spirits, they come to you gradually. What they do, the first sign, that energy enters your conscience when you are asleep. You might see individuals that you don't know. You may see unpleasant things happen that you've never seen before. And at the beginning, you'll probably dismiss it as a weird dream. And then some people, when they hear this and you go to talk to them about it, they're going to say, boy, what'd you eat or drink before you went to bed? That's the first thing that comes out of people's mouths. But a lot of people do not understand about energies. When you are asleep, your defenses are down. There's another thing that a lot of people don't understand, is that when you're in the sleep state, your soul leaves your body. Every night, your soul leaves the body. And it reconnects. And it gets instructions. And then it comes back into your body. How many of you have been woken up in the evening when you're asleep with a jerk? Well, that one, he came back fast. There must have been a reason. There are 7 different dream states that you go through. Now, if you're in dream state 3, you don't remember nothing. That means you are not in the waking state. That means while you're awake. You're not in the light sleep state, because if sudden noise happens, you wake up. But when you're in a deep sleep, in the 3rd state, you are beyond that. And when you go beyond that, the next state is where you can actually start connecting and getting visions, getting messages. And this is what we're going to go, but this is all energy, everybody. So a lot of people, they'll come up and they'll say, Master, how long does it take to learn how to meditate? Or Master, how long does it take to learn how to heal people? Well, one, it needs to be a gift. We can train you with the gift. People will try. They have a weekend course, a week course, and you'll end up taking the course and think you can heal everybody in the world. It's not going to happen. You can do surface healing. The surface healing, yes, you could do. You might be able to pull a little fever. Now, some ancient beliefs, they call it jari. You can jari. A lot of people can jari. But can you go in and remove cancer? Can you take the cyst off of ovaries? See, this takes years of practice, people. Nothing comes easy when it comes to spirituality. You have to prove to God that you're worthy of receiving that gift, or you are worthy of that gift you were born with to manifest properly to where you are using it as it was intended when you were born. This is where people make their mistakes. People are impatient. They always try to rush. And better yet, they try to take shortcuts. Well, in spirituality, there's no shortcut. There's a proper process that can elevate you up the ladder of spirituality. And we are going to cover this in near future programs. Now, the energy. It's very important to know that you can control it. You can manage it. You can learn to harness it within you. It's almost like how you fill your gas tank up in a car. You have a storage area within you that you can store energy. And when it's time, you can use it at will. But you have to use that energy for something positive. You cannot use it for negative. But there's a lot of people that do. But guess what? It's going to come back and bite you. There's going to be serious consequences when you start dealing with energies. A lot of people, they read up and they look up about the Kundalini, about how you raise the energy up into the Kundalini, through the Kundalini. Yes, it's possible. But again, you need a guru. You need a teacher. Someone who knows what they're doing and can guide you step by step. You have to beware. You don't just follow something that you see on the internet, because you can end up in trouble. A lot of people that deals with that energy, if you do not manage it properly, there's been thousands of cases where normal individuals ended up, they went mad. Because their mind, their body could not take that energy. You are capable of tapping in to unlimited energy if you are trained properly and if you have the right mentality to control it. This is where a lot of people make their mistakes. Why are you impatient? Why do you want it so fast? So what we're going to do, I said about 30 minutes, and I've already talked 30 minutes. And you're probably getting tired of me talking. You're probably saying, well, what's that exercise that you were going to do? So, Anais, would you come? This is the guy behind the scenes every time. All right, so Anais. So welcome, Anais. Okay, you can put on your headphones. No, I don't want you to wear the headphones.
Oh, okay.
But you got your mic on.
Yes, mic on.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
we can hear you, right?
All right.
Now, here's what I want you to do. Now, everybody at home, I want you to do exactly what we're doing. At first, I'm going to demonstrate to Anais. Then Anais is going to do it. Now, Anais, I don't want you to focus on the cameras
Okay.
or the microphone. Technically, we shouldn't even have the microphone on you.
Okay.
But we're going to try it with the microphone. I want you to turn your chair to where
All right.
you're watching me. All right, I don't want you to touch me because I'm going to ground you out.
Okay.
People have no shoes on, no socks on. Okay? I want you to have your feet 1 foot apart.
1 foot.
So move your foot. Right.
Some more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, your feet is almost a foot long.
Pretty much.
So I'm just joking, people. I'm just joking. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, what I want you to do, I want everybody to hold your hands 3 inches apart. Now, you're not going to clap your hands like this. No. You're going to take your hands, I'm going to turn them sideways so you can see. You're going to turn them like this. So now your thumbs are mirroring each other.
Okay. So.
Right?
Like this.
Now pull it apart.
Like this, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Now, what I want you to do, you'll watch me do it first. Okay? And everybody out there, you're going to hit them pretty hard. Okay? So you're going to go.
All right.
Now you're going to put your hand, now look at my hands shake.
Yeah.
Now you're going to put your hands this far apart. So I want you to do it, and I want you to close your eyes after you hit your hand. And I want you to only listen to my voice, the instructions. I want everybody else to do it. After you turn your hands, you hit 3 times. I want you to close your eyes, but before you do, get them about 1 inch apart. Then listen to what my instructions are. And I want you to feel. This is going to be the first time you felt your own energy.
Okay.
Okay? So go ahead.
All right.
Hard. Go. Straight. Now close your eyes and feel. Now sometimes people say that's the sting from your hands. But you feel something, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want you to very slowly, everybody out there too, start pulling it apart very slowly. And I want you to feel. As he's doing this, what we're doing, everybody, you are tapping in your own aura. You are starting to feel. Now, you're still feeling the energy, right? Keep going. I want you to stop, everybody, when you feel that the energy is starting to fade. So if you get this far or this far, I want you to start feeling, and then when it starts, you stop. But do not move your hands.
Right about here.
About there. Now, take your hands and slowly start to go back. Aha. What do you feel?
It feels like, it actually kind of feels like it pushing apart.
Correct. Now, with energy, you have a positive and a negative. Now, what we are using here is your sub-chakras in your hands. And now, one chakra will be positive, One will be negative because it's your own energy cycling within your body. And it's getting harder to push in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, pull it back out again slowly. This is how you contract and restrict the energy within you. Now you can manipulate this energy. Keep pulling it apart slowly, slowly. And people, this is very important. To create your awareness, this field around you that can feel positive and feel negative. It is super important to do this every evening before you go to bed. Now, I'm seeing on the screen, and I know you are too, I want you to keep concentrating if you can, but I want you to speak and let the people know what you are feeling, what you're experiencing.
It kind of feels like like when you're pushing two magnets together,
Correct.
the opposite ends. It kind of feels like that.
Now the thing is,
What's strange though is that when I'm pushing in my right hand, I'm feeling like a bit on my left, which is that's kind of interesting.
now, pull them back out again. Do you know, everybody, that unless you break this, you could do it for 2-3 hours straight. Then, in the class, once you start learning this, then you can start sending energy from this hand to this hand. Then you could throw it back into this hand. Then you can spend the energy, and you can play like a ball. You can pass it back and forth, back and forth. So what are you feeling now?
Right now, it's the same where it kind of feels the same where like I'm just trying to I'm trying to fathom it. I'm trying to fathom what it is I'm feeling.
Have you ever felt anything like this before?
No.
Now,
Only when holding magnets.
pull your hands back.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Now, I'm going to show you something real neat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, take your left hand,
Right.
keep your right hand where it is,
Mm-hmm.
and drop it down 2 inches.
My left hand
Yes.
down.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Now, bring him back in.
Mm-hmm.
A question that just came in. What do you do with the energy when you are done? Very important question. You will slap your hands 3 times again, and you will cut. When you do that, it's done. Now, we're going to do something very interesting. I'm taking you to the second level.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, I want you to take your left hand
Mm-hmm.
and tilt it 45 degrees up.
Okay.
So I can't touch you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, open your eyes
Okay.
and you'll turn it like this. Close your eyes and feel. Now tip it back down.
Mm-hmm.
Now bring it back close. What do you feel now? It came back.
Mm-hmm.
Your energy will never leave your body while you're doing this. Now, another thing before I close for the night. Look at him. He's over here playing. And I know this becomes addicting, people. It becomes addicting. Why? You know it is not the energy from the sting of the clap.
Yeah, because this thing going.
The sting has been gone a long time. This is your energy. This is what people feel when you approach them. This is what people feel when you talk with them. This is what your loved one feels when you're with them. But don't you want your energy to be positive? Don't you want your energy to be clean? This is the start. This is the basics that we need to do. Now, there's another key thing that you need to know when you start learning energy. Throughout the world, people, I don't know why it started, but even here in the beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago, they love when you meet somebody, they love to hug you and they love to kiss you on the cheek. If you go to European countries, you get a double whammy. They'll kiss you on both sides of the cheek with a hug. Okay, Anais, I see you got a big smile on your face. What are you experiencing now?
Just now, I was kind of just doing this here.
And you feel a shift.
Yeah, it was just kind of shifting. It was kind of. I try to make sense of it, in a way. But yeah, I don't know. It just
Correct.
feels like magnets.
Now, I want people to understand, this is very important. When you see these exercises, there's going to be some spiritual leaders out there say, oh God, that's the devil work. This is obeah. This has nothing to do with religion or belief. This is what God gave you. This is what is within each and every one of you. So now, when I was talking about hugging and kissing, even shaking hands, when you learn and you're dealing with energy, I want you to put your hands 1 foot apart.
Feels good? Feels good?
That's good. He's keeping his eyes closed, everybody. Now, I'm going to show you, Anais, without touching you, what happens when you come in contact with somebody else. I'm going to put my hand down between yours.
Wait.
Boom.
Hold on.
You lost it.
Yeah.
I just grounded him out without even touching him. So you can put your hands down and open your eyes. So when people hug you, they ground you. You start from scratch all over again. Okay? Now people, Anais, he's been here. He don't really talk much. And I told him I was going to have him do an exercise. I just told him briefly before we went in that I was going to deal with energy between his hands. And he was like, interesting. Now, Anais, explain to the viewers, honestly, what did you feel? What did you experience just this first time?
Well, for me, the reason why I keep bringing up the magnets too is because when I was young, I used to role play with magnets, but like the other way now. And that's what it felt like. It's like a light version of like a magnet in between your hands. So it's like it pushing you back, and then like ever so often you'll feel a bit on your palm itself, and it's really strange. It's really strange.
Did you ever think you would be able to feel it like that?
No, I was confused because it had to match. It had to figure out what was I feeling.
And do you know why it's hard to figure it out?
Why?
Is because the human mind is limited. In spirituality, people, there is no limits. You can go way beyond physics, metaphysics, and until they catch up, you're already there. Again, people, we just started. This was just a quick little session because Zalisa couldn't make it tonight. So I wanted to start doing a session to where you can experience it. So again, you sit still, place your feet a foot apart. Take your hands and you rotate them like this, and you slap them, and you start 1 inch apart. If you do this every evening for about 10 minutes, you're going to sleep better. Your energy in the morning is going to be a lot more. There's a lot of benefits with starting to work with your internal energy. Health-wise, you're not going to get as sick as often. Why? It's been proven. Every disease, every virus starts to affect your body first in the ethereal state, not in the physical state. And when you start grounding and purifying your energy, guess what? You don't get sick very often at all. There's a lot of benefits health-wise for your organs. We're going to go in deeper and deeper in many other programs. And I may have Anais, I might have Zalisa, and then we're going to get to the point to where I will have Anais and Zalisa. And they're going to do this. Then I'm going to have them put their hands up. So now their energy is not going from hand to hand. And both of them is going to put up their hands towards each other. Now, with the right hand, he's going to send that energy to her left hand, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Then you're going to push, and you'll actually feel her push you, and you'll be able to push her back.
Yeah.
Then, wait till you see when we really get into this. But everybody, I know this is a different type of program we did tonight, but I hope you learned something.
Oh, actually, before, let's say an event that someone is doing it by themselves, what do they do with the energy afterwards? Or how do you break it?
Right, I was telling them, you will slap 3 times, and then take your hands,
Okay.
and you're cutting it. When you shake people's hands, let's say you have a business, but I see somebody wrote, I don't know the number, but it says, "Good evening, Master Ari. Good evening, Anais." Hey, she spelled your name right.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome demonstration. She said, "I felt the heat in the middle of my hands as well." Is that normal? Yes. Why? You're starting to awaken the chakras in both hands. Okay? I want people to understand when you're dealing with chakras, it's just not the major chakras that they talk about. Within your body, you have the major chakras, and you have 157 sub-chakras. They never talk about it on the internet. They don't talk about it in books. This is from 35 years of experience dealing with energy. And this is why when some people have pain, they'll say, "I got my pain here." But we're working on them from the back over here. And they're like, "But that's not where it hurts." Right?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, that pain leaves. So I want you to understand, you have the nadis inside. That's the spiritual nervous system. And then when you use the chakras, and you can actually steer that energy, and the people feel it. you'll say, okay, now I'm going down the arm, and they'll feel it. That energy starting to shoot down their arm. And let's say it was a finger, and now we're into the finger. And then when we pull, you pull the energy back. That pain follows and comes right back out. So, everybody, we only got about 8 minutes left. Do you want to add anything to what we've done today?
One thing I wanted to ask, where does that pain energy go then?
Okay, this is where people have to be trained. I worked on a cancer patient 2 days ago. And one of the individuals that I'm training, he's on my team. Now, he's getting to a point to where he's doing real good.
Yeah.
But it's cancer you're dealing with. Now you have to learn how to block the energy coming back out and leave it here. And don't let it enter you. Or that cancer is going to be inside you. See, a lot of people don't understand. You have to be in control of the energy you're working with. And this is critical. The next thing is, now don't be trying to throw your wife or spouse and stuff around during practice. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, yes, let me learn this, right? No. It's not meant for that. What I'm showing you now is to cleanse your aura, to cleanse the energy within you. Every time you pull it back in and you pull back out, it's like when you saw the old time people and they had a fire, but they used this accordion air
To
pump.
blow the flames.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens? You pull in, you push back out.
Okay.
So you're pulling in new air, and you're
Pushing back out.
So bringing in positive, pushing out the negative.
Okay.
So everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this program. I know it's not a normal program that we normally do, but try it. And after about 4 days, you're going to start sleeping better. When you start to meditate, you're going to say, wow, it's easier. These are little tricks that people don't teach you. And as we keep going, but if you really want to learn, and I'm going to sneak it out, I didn't have time this morning to actually announce the date of the first meditation class. And it's going to be October 2nd. It's a Sunday. We'll probably start around 4 p.m. That way people can do their session and they can drive home safely while it's still daylight. We're going to do an hour and a half session. So, please call the program, call our number, 1-868-354-4459. Call. Make sure you're in this class. And this class will be held at the new location, Light Pole 78, Monroe Road in Canoopia. And make sure you're on the list. I'm going to have multiple classes because when you teach things like this, you cannot have a large amount of people. They do. They have classes where they'll have 30, 40, 50 people. The reason is, when you are teaching people, when you go to the practical exercises, there needs to be more of a one-on-one. And then also, I have the ability to see where you're at spiritually.
Yeah.
So now people can't say they're not learning.
Right.
They're not actually getting that attention. So make sure you get, so the first 12 to 15 people are going to get into that class.
Okay.
So make sure you call. But anyhow, everybody, I want to say thank you for viewing. I hope you've enjoyed this program, and I hope it benefits you in learning the first step and entering the spiritual world. When you have time, just sit in nature. Close your eyes. If you notice, I had you close your eyes here.
Yeah.
And I want you to focus on a certain sound you're hearing in nature. And start becoming one with that sound. And you're going to feel that energy that you're hearing. And then one of the guys that trains with me, he listens to crickets. And then everything else blanks out. And he can actually hear that cricket talking to this specific cricket. And people, that's how you learn. How to focus your mind, and when you start getting spiritual, how you can focus your third eye by just starting focusing on nature. It gives you a sense of how you can focus and control yourself. Okay? So everybody, it's been a pleasure tonight. And next week, Zalisa will be here. But anyhow, nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
For being with us. And everybody, you have a great night. The Untold Truth, every Friday at 6 p.m. The journey has just begun with Master Eric. Zalisa. A new kind of podcast getting to the root of hidden knowledge. You can join us on Facebook, Conversation with the Zalisa, and YouTube, Master Eric. Your journey has just begun.